Rare Voice is the phone in my home.
It's the one I can afford.
Rare Voice gives me lower LD.
And you know it gives me more.
I get local calls for free, and I can win big prizes too. Rare Voice makes my family rejoice. Rare Voice is the choice for me.
Your new home phone is here. Sign up for Rev Voice today, and you can win great weekly prizes and a brand new Honda CR-V from Nassau Motor Company. Get Rev Voice home phone for as low as $14.99 a month. Call us at 601-8992 or visit us online at cablebahamas.com/RevVoice. Rejoice this Christmas with Rev Voice.
Coming up, members of the National Insurance Board speak out. The Free National Movement preparing to fill Shivargo Lang's Senate seat. The Christian Council accuses web shops of trying to buy voters. Plus, the DNA calls next year's gambling referendum a fiasco. I'm Ronnie Toot, and NB12 Weekend starts now. Good Sunday evening, and thanks for tuning in to NB12 The Weekend Edition. Topping news: for the first time since controversy erupted at the highest level of the National Insurance Board, members of the board are speaking out. Paige McCartney reports.
There's been a lot of negative attention surrounding the National Insurance Board for the past few weeks, but today NIB's Board of Directors came together in support of its chairman, Greg Moss, saying that the accusations that are being levied against him are based on decisions that weren't made solely by him. This pledge of support comes after NIB Director Algernon Cargill sued NIB and its chairman for what he calls wrongful and unfair dismissal, defamation, and breach of the Data Protection Act following a letter that leaked to the internet making serious allegations against Cargill, which led to his suspension from post. The Board of Directors today held a press conference at NIB's Blue Hill Road headquarters, saying that it stands behind the decisions of the chairman and takes responsibility for all of the corporate decisions made under Moss's leadership. Chairman of the Board Operations Committee, Merritt Storr, said the board also wants the public to know that the work of the board has not been hampered in any way by the recent developments coming out of that agency.
Well, part of the reason why we're here today is to reaffirm that the work of the board, and I mean the board of directors, is proceeding as normal. We have very lengthy meetings. All of the committees are meeting regularly on a monthly basis, and they are reporting to the board. So the board itself is continuing to function, I would say, as per normal. We acknowledge that there is a lot of publicity, most of it not positive, out in the press at the moment, but we wanted to emphasize that the work of the board is continuing.
Board executives wouldn't say much about the matter that is now before the courts. However, when asked if they believe it's unfair for NIB Director Algernon Cargill to be placed on administrative leave pending the results of investigations while the board's chairman still sits in his substantive post, Storr said this.
Unfortunately, again, I can't comment on that. That is part of the court proceedings. Both sides have given an undertaking not to comment, and actually the undertaking is very broad. So even though that question would seem to be a simple one that we should be able to answer, unfortunately we're not able to answer that.
In an affidavit filed last month, Cargill alleges that the NIB chairman advised the board that the Prime Minister wanted NIB to invest $10 million in a private share offering. However, Cargill called the investment risky. Cargill also claimed in that affidavit that Moss used his NIB executive credit card to charge expensive stays at hotels and large alcoholic beverage consumption while he was not doing the work of NIB. Storr said the board is aware of the claims and has retained legal counsel.
Well, the board has instructed outside legal counsel to represent it in the matter that's currently before the courts. McKinney Turner and Co., where Anthony McKinney has been instructed, as well as Crystal Roll from Roll and Roll. So they are the attorneys of record for the board in relation to the matter that's currently before the court. And they will do what is normal in matters of that nature. They will enter an appearance. If it's necessary, they'll enter a defense, etc. And so they will have management of the matter before the court.
And with all the negative publicity, NIB Deputy Chairman Bernard Evans said board members and staff are hoping to have this all behind them in the new year.
They want the saga to be over with, beyond a shadow of a doubt. But they're in high spirits for the most part. But this, I think, this part of the year too also helped because this is the festive season, and so it take a lot of their minds. A lot of people just focusing now on the Christmas and what their plans are for themselves and their families. And so hopefully in the new year, moving forward, we'll have this behind us.
Reporting for MB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
11 members of the Free National Movement are in the running to become the opposition's new senator. That person will fill the seat left vacant when outgoing F&M Senator Shivargo Lang's resignation takes effect on December 31st. Party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis says Lang's successor will be chosen through a new democratic process. He also revealed that none of the party's 4 senators will serve a full term. The F&M's executive committee recently met to discuss the new selection process, which they say will eliminate claims of cherry picking. During that meeting, Dr. Minnis says committee members submitted the names of 4 women and 7 men, whom they feel would represent the party well in the upper chamber.
Qualifications would be individuals who would have background information on the F&M, know what the F&M is all about, transparency, accountability, etc. They must know something about the history of the F&M. These must be individuals who are not arrogant, not self-subservient, because the F&M is about building and elevating people.
Minnis says some of the people who have expressed an interest were candidates in the May 7th general election. While senior party officials are participating in the selection process, the F&M leader says he will have the final say. He told NB12 he will make a decision before Lang's resignation takes effect.
Before December 31st, so that once Senator Lang's letter is effective, we would have somebody already available. We just forward the communication to the Governor General and proceed with the necessary procedures.
Lang isn't the only F&M senator who won't spend a full 5-year term in the Senate, though. Minnis told NB12 the party has implemented a rotation system, which means senators will be changed after a certain period of time.
Our senators, some of them would have been informed that the policy we're moving with going forward, because there are only 4, we would have a rotation type procedure, meaning that they may only be in Senate for 2.5 years, after which we'd have new individuals coming in. So when we reach this rotation, these same 11, those the other 10 that were not selected, one can choose 2 or 3 out of that grouping.
Dr. Minnis says party members have been quite receptive to the new policies. Web shops have upped the ante in the weeks leading up to the January 28th gambling referendum, giving customers the opportunity to win vehicles and other prizes. That's not sitting well with the Christian Council president, who accused numbers bosses of buying voters. Paige McCartney also has that story.
The government has yet to reveal the question or questions that will appear on the ballot for the January 28th gambling referendum. But those stakeholders who have the most to gain or lose from the legalization of numbers are doing whatever they have to get their points of view across to the Bahamian public. And according to the president of the Bahamas Christian Council, Ranford Patterson, web bosses are attempting to buy the votes of Bahamians. He pointed to particular promotions he's noticed since the government changed the referendum date, like offering cars, extra money, even houses. Patterson said he believes it's all in an effort to swing voters that way.
I'm told that there's a web shop boss who's prepared to give away 10 cars. I heard another one is giving away a house. I don't know how true it is. But the reality is that's 11 persons.
But despite those tactics, Patterson said he still believes the Christian Council has the upper hand in promoting its stance on the issues and getting its message out there.
I believe that our campaign is reaching people. Not only is it reaching people over the media, over the airwaves, but every Sunday there are pastors in our country who are speaking directly to thousands of people and encouraging them to vote no on this referendum. We're doing it for the soul of our country, and no other reason.
In the coming weeks, Patterson said the Christian Council will expand its campaigning to the Family Islands. He's also calling on those who have had negative experiences with gambling to come forward and tell their stories publicly.
At the end of the day, whatever the Bahamian people decide, the church will be there. Whatever decision is made, the church will be there to help, to encourage, to motivate, to help to heal. Whatever the church needs to do, the church will be there to do it. We're just asking the Bahamian people to understand that this will cause greater harm on our country because what we see already happening in our country. People are already hurting, and it's going to be worse.
Patterson said if Bahamians do vote in favor of legalized gambling, the church will be there to pick up the pieces of the nation if things fall apart. Reporting for NB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
Voters will head to the polls in just over a month. However, we still have no idea what questions or even how many questions will appear on the ballot. Leader of the Democratic National Alliance, Branville McCartney, says that's why he feels government should have pushed the referendum back a few months instead of a few weeks. The gambling referendum was initially slated for December 3rd, but was postponed until January 28th. McCartney feels voters need more time before they can make an informed decision.
What a fiasco. I mean, don't you think the outside world is looking and say, look at that banana republic. I think the 28th of January is still a bit soon. I think it ought to have been given about 3 months. We still don't know what the questions will be on the referendum today. We don't know what those questions are.
Minister responsible for gaming, Obi Wilshcombe, recently told NB12 that the referendum question or questions would be revealed either last week or this week. Bahamians will get to vote for or against the legalization of web shops and the establishment of a national lottery. Prime Minister Perry Christie hinted that 1 or 2 questions would appear on the ballot. However, McCartney feels there should be 3.
Bahamian people should determine whether or not we have a lottery, a national lottery. I do think the question of legalizing or making or regularizing the web shops ought to be put on the ballot. And I also think at this time, when we do have this referendum, the question whether I believe it or it should happen or not, whether the Bahamian people ought to be able to gamble in the casinos. I think there are 3 questions that ought to be posed in this referendum.
The DNA leader also accused the PLP of failing to do its homework on gambling after coming to power. He also blasted the Bahamas Christian Council, saying religious leaders should spend time and money on far more pressing issues than gambling.
Let's stop the foolishness. I find it very amazing that the Christian Council has spent so much time and effort, quite frankly, on this gambling issue. When in fact we've had most pressing issues plague this country for many, many years.
Still to come, fraudsters attempt to take advantage of one charitable organization's goodwill. We've got that story and much more when NB12 Weekend continues.